All right. Good evening, everybody. This is the Monday night product call. My name is Brian Wright, and I am super excited to be having the honor of hosting this call. This call is for anybody and everybody who is interested in learning more about Isagenix, whether you are just hearing about Isagenix for the first time tonight, or you just placed your order and haven't even put the products in your body yet, or you have been around for a while and just want to hear a little bit different story or something new maybe. I just want to say welcome. My goal tonight is to talk a little bit about my story and talk a little bit about these amazing products and how they've impacted my life and why they're impacting so many lives all over the world. And then I'm going to do that for about 20 minutes, and then I have another distinct honor of having an amazing guest to join me and tell her story at the end of the call. So let's kind of get to it. This is going to be all about product. We do have a business call that we will talk more about the opportunity that comes along with Isagenix, and that is on Tuesday night. Same number that you called in tonight with and the same access code, just a different night. So let me just dive in here and tell you a little bit about my background, and then we'll kind of go through some information about the products. I actually was introduced to these products by my lovely wife, and she had been dealing with some digestive issues and some just general discomfort when she ate, and her energy was really low, and she was just struggling. Had gotten to the point where she told me one day that she just wasn't even sure she wanted to eat anymore because it was such a struggle. And we just had tried so many things to help her improve her health, and it just wasn't working. At the same time that she was going through that, I had just completed my first bodybuilding competition and had gotten myself into probably the best external physical shape that I'd ever been in. Had over a period of years gone from a 240-pound non-exercising, couch-loving, TV-watching guy to this single-digit body fat, really in-shape version of myself, but was really struggling with low energy and some other things. And let me just first say, before I go any further, that when we talk about the products, we talk about Isagenix, we don't claim to cure, heal, treat any kind of disease. We just are talking about putting pure nutrition in the body and what happens in the body when we do that. So Meredith had seen a friend, Elizabeth, post some information online about what she was going through with Isagenix, and they talked, and she came to me and said, hey, I really want to give this a try. I was super skeptical because I had never seen it in any of my magazines. I had never seen it in any of the stores that I was frequenting with the supplements and things that I was using to prepare for my competition. Never heard of it. Never heard anybody talking about it at the gym, didn't know anything about it. So I thought, it can't be real. It's got to be some kind of scam. It's got to be some kind of thing that's not going to work. But because we had tried everything for her, just decided to let it go, and I'd just kind of stand off on the sidelines and see what happened. Well, as anybody who has put these products in their body knows, that her overall health changed very quickly. Her digestive situation really started to get corrected. And the thing that really attracted me the most to it all was what happened with her energy. We've been together for over 16 years, and I had never seen her energy hit the level that it had. And because I had put my body through such a torturous regimen of dieting and exercising and depleting, I was just exhausted all the time. I was having to drink anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 cups of coffee sometimes a day just to get from point A to point B. I was exhausted. Externally, amazing shape. Internally, a disaster. So I see this energy increase in her, and I was just very captivated by that. And then so I started to kind of look at it a little bit and had been beginning to do some research on protein and protein powders and things that I was consuming, and finding that there was more and more junk in these products that I was consuming than anything good. And so I started to look at the protein that Isagenix had, and again, I was very interested. So I watched for a bit longer, and then I decided to try myself. Had an incredible experience. My energy has never been in a place like it is today. I've had a cup of coffee since March when I started, and haven't really ever felt like I needed it. It's been so hard sometimes to even explain to people how great I feel. You almost just want to say you got to try it, because it's hard unless you've experienced it. It really sometimes can be difficult for people to understand, get their head wrapped around it. But anyway, that was kind of my background, my story in a brief nutshell. So I didn't come into this for weight loss, but I did come into it for energy increase. And oddly enough, I actually did release about 7 pounds of toxic fat that I wasn't really sure that I had that to lose, but lo and behold, I did. So I lost a little bit of weight, but the increase in my energy was something that I couldn't even put a price tag on it. So, I called into one of these calls early on, and I heard people talking about this stuff, and I hadn't really researched it that much outside of what I saw in front of me. Kind of seeing was believing for me. So then I called in, I started to listen to these calls, and I started to learn, okay, this is why these things are working the way they are, and more importantly, why it's having such an impact on people, because by and large our society is unhealthy. We have a health crisis in America and really around the world. And so as you're listening to this, ask yourself, do you or does someone that you know want to improve their digestion? Rebalance your overall nutrition. Get some better sleep. Lose a little bit of weight, lose a lot of weight. Increase your energy. Build lean muscle, and get into this environment of helping others achieve the things that they want to achieve. So we have a health crisis. I think that we can all admit that we know that we have a health crisis. But I want to share some statistics that really, the first time I heard them, I was blown away. And some of them I had heard, but some of these that I'm going to share were ones that I didn't know. And they were really quite shocking. The first is that 1 in 2.2 people are going to develop cancer. We probably know someone. Anybody on this call either knows somebody or maybe even has had themselves some form of cancer. In the 1950s, that number was 1 in 12. So we've seen, obviously, a huge increase over the years in that. 1.3 million women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. And as a dad and a husband, and I have 3 beautiful women in my life, that scares me. That's a 30% increase in the last 25 years. Here's another one. 18 million Americans are diabetic. And the part about this stat that really scares me is that 1 in 3 children will be diagnosed with diabetes in the future. This generation of children is the first generation that has a shorter life expectancy than their parents. And that terrifies me. So another stat, 87% of Americans are clinically overweight. And over 30% of U.S. adults are considered obese. And obesity contributes to over 300,000 deaths per year. The CDC is actually doing a study and has been doing a study on obesity, and they now label it a disease. In 1995, those percentages of obesity in U.S. adults was somewhere in the low teens across the country, and now is over 30%. And this study was started in 1995, and a significant thing happened in 1996 that really, I think, has contributed to a lot of what we're dealing with, amongst other things, and that was the legalization of GMOs. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. So what are some of the causes of this health crisis? Well, we can link that to two things, toxicity and deficiency. So deficiency, we are minerally deficient, our soil is minerally deficient, our foods are minerally deficient, we're protein deficient. There are so many deficiencies in our food sources, in our water sources, that it's almost impossible to get all the nutrients that we need from food alone. So we really have to do some kind of supplementation in order to make sure that we are getting all the nutrition that we need to live a healthy life. Another thing that is getting us into an environment where our bodies aren't working the way they were designed to is acidity. So 95% of Americans are acidic, according to Dr. Tony O'Donnell. And so our bodies were created to operate in this place where they can work efficiently. And if we aren't putting the right types of fuel into the body, it's not going to work the way it was designed to. I do these presentations for our team, and I often laugh, and someday I probably will change this, but I use this example of a car, a turbocharged car. They were designed in the factory to use high-grade fuel. If you don't put high-grade fuel in a turbocharged car, it will not work right. It will get you from point A to point B, but it's not going to work right. That's kind of like what is happening with our bodies. Our bodies were designed to put high-grade fuel in them, but because of our food sources, because of our water sources, we're putting low-grade fuel. And they're working, but they're not, and they're getting us from point A to point B, but they're just not working the way they were designed to. And the body has these amazing processes that it should be able to do on its own, but can't because of what's going on with all of these outside influences. So let's talk about toxins. We talk about toxins a lot here, and people ask, what's a toxin? A toxin is a foreign substance that doesn't belong in the body. And we are being bombarded by these toxins, these things that we really can't control in so many cases. It's in our air, it's in our water, it's in our food sources. You know, we used to spray pesticides and herbicides on our foods, and people got really jammed up about the fact that we were flying planes over these fields of crops and spraying stuff, or we were shooting, stuff out of sprinkler heads to kill off these organisms and things that were killing our plants and our crops. And so rather than figure out a way to do that without causing more irreparable damage, we got smart and decided to use those same chemicals and inject them into our seeds before we ever put them in the ground. So now we're putting seeds in the ground that have been genetically modified, and they are killing off the bugs and the worms and the animals. I mean the insects and things that are trying to destroy those crops. But they're also growing these genetically modified byproducts, tomatoes and potatoes and corn and all of these things that, excuse me, are we're consuming. And it's not strong enough to kill us. It's strong enough to kill the things that are trying to destroy those crops. But it's causing us to ingest chemicals that our bodies weren't designed to have to contend with. And we're putting chemicals all over our bodies. Our shampoos, our conditioners, our deodorant, ladies, your makeup, or fake tans and body lotions, all these things have tons of chemicals, and we're putting all that on the largest organ of our body, and that's our skin. So we're absorbing chemicals on a daily basis. And there's chemicals in our water and in our air. So we really can't get rid of them. So we have to figure out a way to help the body fight that. Right? And we talk about, I mentioned acidity a little while ago. So we gotta create this alkaline environment for the body to work appropriately. And people will say, well, can't you just do that through food? Ideally, that is what we're trying to do, because Isagenix is just food. It's in a highly absorbable, very convenient delivery system, but it's just food. Because the food, even if we eat completely organic, and we try and do all the things, we make our own cleaning supplies, we sleep on organic mattresses and pillows, we still can't get away from toxins that are bombarding our bodies. Dr. Oz did a study a while back and put some results back about comparing organic and conventional foods. Like a potato, for instance. A conventional potato, a non-organic potato, has between 12 and 30 known toxins or chemicals that are found in that potato. And an organic one that is labeled organic, allowable to be called organic, has 5 to 15. So even if you are just going to the store and you're buying nothing but whole food, organic food, you're still getting toxins. And so what is that causing? Well, what's happening is the body has this defense mechanism that will create an environment where it needs to try and fight this stuff off. And so we're constantly working all night long. That's why we don't sleep as good. That's why we're fighting constantly to get all of this stuff out of the body. So what do we do about that? Isagenix. We introduce Isagenix into the equation. It's 100% natural. We have 12 years of validation with product stories and results in the thousands, maybe tens of thousands. It's got the highest grade quality whey protein. It's not a diet. This is not a depravity situation. This is abundance. We're going to flood the body with nutrition. It's a company of integrity. We have 25 doctors on staff, and the company is experiencing huge growth. So real quick, what's the difference between dieting and cleansing? Because you're going to hear people talk about cleansing, and I know what you're thinking. If you've never done a cleanse with us, with Isagenix, you're thinking poop cleanse. Not a poop cleanse. This is a pee cleanse. We're going to release the fat and the toxins out of the body through our urine. Okay, so a traditional diet, you have a big body. You're going to try and reduce the size of that body, but what you don't reduce are the impurities inside the body. So the body senses this increased level of toxin, and it goes, whoa, I got to do something, emergency fat production. That's why usually when we diet with a depravity situation, we rebound and we say we gain weight back with friends. The difference between that and cleansing is we're going to take that bigger body, we're going to reduce the size, and we're going to release the fat through the urine and release those impurities, and the body doesn't sense that increase because we've released those, and so we don't gain that weight back. And how do we do that? We have 3 core products. We have our Cleanse for Life product. That is a nutrient-rich drink that comes in a powder or liquid form. It's not a diuretic, it's not a laxative, It's got over 100 nutrients to help support the body while we cleanse. We slow down the digestion process so the body can do what it was designed to naturally do on its own. We're just going to fuel it. We're going to create this environment for it to be able to do that. But what we know is we can't do that right away. We have to get the body alkaline first. So we do that with our protein shakes. We have exclusively sourced, highest quality, undenatured, cold processed whey protein from New Zealand. It is, I dare you to find something better. I've looked. You won't. This is the best protein on the market. The branched chain amino acids are still intact, and when you add water to it, it has live enzymes that allows the body to use those nutrients in the most efficient and absorbable way possible. There's no chemicals, no fillers, and what we know is clinically proven to alkalize the body. Doing 2 shakes a day for 2 days, the body will be alkaline, and then we can introduce the cleanse product. The third core product that we use in the system is our adaptogenerative tonic called Ionic Supreme. This is my lifeblood. I don't know what I would do if I ever run out of this stuff. I'm going down the street to a friend's house who uses it because I got to have it. It increases energy. It helps the body relieve its own stress. Anti-inflammatory results. Our athletes are using it to help themselves in recovery from hard workouts. Our professional athletes love this stuff. This is really, this coupled with the other parts of the system are just incredible. So with that, I don't want to take any more time from my special guest, because one of the things that I love about this thing that we've found, because not only are these products life-changing, we have developed relationships with people all over the world that are so amazing and so genuine. But this person is my sister-in-law. And the fact that we got to introduce this into her life and her family's life and watch the change in them, it's so incredible. I don't want to say anything more. Courtney, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead, Courtney Aldridge.
Great. Thank you, Brian. Awesome. So, yes, my name is Courtney Aldridge. And just to give you a little background on myself, basically all my life I've struggled with my weight. It's kind of been a roller coaster, just fluctuated a lot up and down. I remember actually in middle school, my mom putting me on the diet. She would measure out my food portions, et cetera. We openly talked about that. It wasn't just to eat healthy. It was I really had to lose weight, that kind of thing. And again, just through high school, college, weight up and down, fluctuating. And then in college, I definitely gained a lot my freshman year, that freshman 15, that we all are familiar with, and continued to gain, though. I just was unhealthy. A lot of that was my personal decisions, just not eating healthy, not really being concerned with that, but went on to do that and for a while, and then pretty much just decided, I was just miserable, and so I really didn't know anything about a diet or how to lose weight. I just, in my mind, I thought, well, I'll just eat fruits and vegetables and eat a very small amount. So basically what I did was starvation. And I ended up putting myself into a borderline anorexic scenario in my body. I just super unhealthy, lost a lot of weight, but I absolutely was not getting the right nutrition, and just not I didn't have enough for sure. And so once again, had gone from that really overweight down to underweight. Then went on to get married and had 3 babies. And basically after the end of that era, and knew that I was no longer going to have any more children, I just wanted to be healthier. I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to get my body back, so to speak. And so I decided that I would sign up with a trainer And with that came this in particular trainer had a certain eating plan. And I thought it sounded great. And, for me at the time, I felt like this was the cleanest that I had ever eaten. And maybe it was as far as, not a lot of refined sugars and that kind of thing. But I certainly, as Brian had mentioned, I was losing weight, felt like my frame was changing some, but maybe it looked like appeared on the outside that I was healthy, but I absolutely wasn't healthy on the inside. This was a restrictive plan, little to no carbs, absolutely no fruit, because, fruit has natural sugar, so I wasn't allowed to eat fruit, and which, looking back now, I just really have to laugh at that. That's crazy. And then I did a lot of, the sugar-free stuff if I wanted a, little treat for myself, which most of us know anything that says sugar-free is just stay away from that, because it's filled with artificial sweeteners and extremely unhealthy. I did protein bars, which were, what I was consuming was not healthy, full of just junk. The other thing was I truly just lived on coffee. From the time I woke up until I went to bed, I drank coffee all day, every day. Like Brian mentioned, I would drink anywhere from 3 to maybe not as much as he did, but 3 to 5, 6 cups a day. And I remember actually going to weight train at the gym with my trainer, and I'd bring my water bottle, but I would also take my coffee. And so again, just really dependent on that. But all the while, I was exhausted. I had no energy. I again mentioned I have 3 children, and so they're young. They're under 9, and I'm a busy mama, like many of us are. And I just was exhausted. And really started to refocus and look at to just consider what I was putting in my body, and that actually so many things weren't healthy, and started to just educate myself and learn more about GMOs and, a lot of what Brian was talking about and how our food system is depleted, et cetera. And so basically, though, I, kind of maintained what I was doing before and went on like that for a couple of years. Until I came into this more of awareness, and I, just really was looking for something at that point to just kind of jumpstart me, and again, just needed so much more energy without being, I was dependent on coffee, but I was still exhausted, and I was interested in cleansing my body, but I had no idea even how to go about that, and at this time hadn't really heard of Isagenix, and so then my sister, Brian's wife, introduced me to the products. As he mentioned, she had an amazing transformation herself. And I remember I just kept telling her, I drug my feet for so long, and, the product sounded great. I was so inspired by her transformation and so excited for her. But a couple of things I just continued to say to her, I can't give up coffee. I just can't do that. What do you mean? Like, you're not drinking caffeine? And I just couldn't wrap my mind around that. And then the whole shake thing kind of threw me a little bit as well, as I had never done protein shakes of any sort, regardless, throughout, just no shakes whatsoever, whether it was a program or something on the counter. But then I, just kind of reevaluated and thought, well, I eat these protein bars that, again, I mentioned are really terrible for me, full of junk, every single day. So why not drink a shake every day that's absolutely got everything that I need? Just would fill my body with the right nutrition, fuel me, and provide what my body was lacking. So I just decided, okay, I think this is what I want to do. I decided to enroll, and I set up my account through Isagenix, and I was just completely blown away. Within my first 30 days, not only did I release 7 pounds of visceral fat, which really at that time I didn't feel like I had much weight to lose. That's not, what got me interested in the products, but I did release that. I released almost 8 inches off my body, and my energy went through the roof. Literally by day 3, I did not even want coffee, and by day 4, I just felt this complete internally transformation in my body. It was just really just such a neat experience. I had so much energy. I no longer hit that afternoon, like 4 o'clock lull with my children, thinking, how am I going to get through homework, through bedtime? Dinner time, bedtime. And I just felt great, and I knew I was finally, for the first time, putting the right nutrition in my body that I was never getting from foods, regardless of what I was choosing. And my husband watched me, and then he enrolled, and we set up his account, and he released almost 27 pounds in his first 30 days. Definitely had less stress at work, more energy, slept better. He has always struggled with his having poor sleeping habits. And we've also been able to use the products for our children. One child who has always had trouble gaining weight, we give him the shakes and have seen some progress with that. I have a daughter who struggles with some attention anxiety, and we have replaced our products for her, replaced the shakes and the cleanse and some of the different products that we offer that Brian didn't even get to talk about, and we're using that instead of medication. So I could just go on and on and on. I know we need to cut the call to respect everyone's time, but I just think what product line can you find that can change your body frame? You can lose weight in a healthy way, release the visceral fat that we all have, regardless of how small or large we are. Yet I can give my children, it's safe for them, and they can gain weight, or it can help them with their attention issues and focus at school and less anxiety, etc. So that's basically it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Court. It's the great thing about this is that we do get to share this with not only the people that we love, but the people that we may not even know yet, the people that we come in contact with, sometime down the road. And it's been really fun to watch y'all's journey. And, I mentioned at the very beginning of this call that we have a opportunity call on Tuesday nights, same number, same time, that we talk about sharing and what happens when you share. There's an opportunity to get these products for free. So not only can you introduce this health and wellness to yourself, to your family, to your friends, to strangers, but you can also change some financial opportunity as well. So, look, guys, I know we've run a few minutes late. We could talk all night long, but we're not going to. I encourage you to get back with the person that invited you onto this call and ask some questions, clarify some things if you need it. Courtney and I are both on Facebook, Courtney Aldridge, and I'm Brian Wright. If you want to talk to us about our specific journey in more detail, we are open and willing and would love to share with you in more detail. So, guys, thanks so much. Don't forget to get with the person that invited you and join us tomorrow night on the opportunity call. Y'all have a great night. God bless.